Yo, welcome back to the Black Narrative. This is Black Ice.
This is a Keys.
Welcome back to another episode, and tonight we're gonna talk about the Mississippi state flag.
And I know since you have some ties to Mississippi, you'll be able to give more insight than I ever would. But I do have some stuff to say about it.
Okay, yes, So even though I was raised in Atlanta, raised in Decatur, I was born in Mississippi. I was born in Greenville, Mississippi, and I did some time in like jail.
I Mississippi. It is Mississippi.
Right. So I did live in Jackson for a few years when I started my photography business. So yeah, so I do have and like most of my family, almost all of my family is in Mississippi. So yeah, I do have ties to Mississippi. But as far as my feelings about the state flag, this past weekend, this past weekend they voted to change the state flag and get rid of the Confederate symbol off of it.
Kind of like what they did with Georgia back in the 90s.
Yeah,
kind of like that.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't feel a certain type of way. I was never triggered by the state flag.
Right,
me personally.
Right.
And then I got into some heated discussions this past week about it. And the reason why I feel how I feel, because I just feel like if I am going to be triggered by a flag, I'll be more triggered by the American flag than I would the state flag,
Right. Because the amount of stuff they've done under that flag.
Yeah, even to this day.
Yeah.
Under American flag, that the Confederacy.
Right. The Confederacy's been dismantled for a while.
Yeah, and and my other reason too is I just feel like it's all a distraction where you had this about change the state flag, and once again, black people didn't get any tangibles.
It's number symbolism, and that's the main point I kind of wanted to make is the idea of them wanting to kind of erase history, because even if you look at books like 1984, where it kind of talks about the Soviet Union, during the Soviet Union, and it talks about in 1984 where what would happen is somebody would do something unfavorable, or a certain event wouldn't go their way, they would go and they would literally erase them from history. And that's the same thing that Stalin used to do, where if there was somebody that he killed, he would have them go and actually doctor up the photos and change documents in order to make it seem like they never existed. And that's kind of the same thing that I kind of see with them changing the Mississippi flag, because you're not going to change the mindset of the people of Mississippi. They're still going to be racist, but they're going to have a piece of history erased in order to make it seem like, see, America is a lot more of is much more of a tolerant place now, even though it's the same thing. Nothing changed, and it's just symbolic.
Yeah, I mean, to the point, to the example that you made, like what happened in Russia, or like what happened in Iraq with Saddam. Those were regime changes. The regime changed over to hold a leader. Where here, nothing changed. The leadership is still here, and got to think about Confederacy is part of America,
right? It's an extension of America.
Yeah, same people, same mindset. And if it wasn't the same mindset, then why are we protesting right now?
And the thing about it, because people might say, well, under the Confederacy flag, it was specifically fine for slavery. But I mean, you had the border states that fought for the Union that had slaves as well.
But you got to think about it too. I mean, the slavery happened in 1619.
Yeah. That was under the English flag.
Yeah, what I mean. So then under the American flag,
right?
So it didn't. That slavery didn't happen under the Confederate flag till we were almost free in 1861.
And the thing about it is, the people of the Confederacy were still very patriotic when the Confederacy was dismantled. All that passion they put into their state independence and all that, over time it became a love for America. So those same people with that Confederate mindset, like look at neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazis, they rock the Confederate flag, but they also love the United States flag,
right?
Because they're very patriotic.
Yeah, they represent some of the same values.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
So just taking away that flag, and and not that to say you should not be triggered by that flag. I mean, if you are,
it is still on some bullshit.
I just feel like it makes more sense you were triggered by the American flag more,
right,
than the Mississippi state flag. I just don't understand how you can be triggered by the state flag, but not be triggered by the American flag, and that's my issue.
My thing is you just have to be you have to take both for what they are. You can't really. It might be one of those things where the flag represents a certain mindset, but changing that flag really isn't going to change much.
Like the symbolism is one of the last thing you change when you go through a series of changes.
Right.
So you're not changing the institution that is enslaving us in the first place. I mean, like you say, you just slapping on.
And the dangerous thing about it is now when your kids are growing up, they're not going to have that to remind them of the United States history. And so it's going to be a lot. We do know that the white school system teaches our kids. So it's going to be a lot easier for them to kind of dismiss slavery, dismiss all the, because the common mindset when it comes to racism and stuff like that is to just let it go. But it's always put on us. The burden of changing the mindset of race in America is always put on black people.
That forgiveness.
Right. It's up to us to forget about it, up to us to stop talking about it, and up to us to forgive it.
Well, I mean, let's go deeper into it, because like, honest with you, I think this whole thing became an issue that the liberals put in our head to pursue. One, it's an election year. It's funny how all this stuff is going down to an election year.
Right.
And two, deep down, we don't want to be to ourselves. We want to get along with white people so bad. So we don't want to. Yeah. We really don't want to leave captivity. We just want better conditions
on a plantation.
Yeah, and that's what the issue is. Because like my thing is, are you really that fed up? You really hate this racist country and this and the third? You be ready. You feel that you feel that type of energy towards the American flag first.
Well, what I think it is, I think a big part of it is the idea of ranks. You know what I mean? Where you have different rungs of society, and it's the same thing where let's compare it to a plantation, because not all slaves wanted the institution of slavery to end, because certain slaves had status within the institution.
Black overseers,
the
house slaves,
the bed wenches. Like, you had those people that had that institution in there, and you can kind of compare them to the black bourgeoisie. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of black, rich, upper middle class Americans that have status with these companies, have status amongst white America. And they might deal with racism. They might acknowledge it and everything, but they still like that status.
Right.
Kind of like Black as Fuck.
Yeah.
No, because I mean that literally because that show it's not about the regular Black America. It's about the idea of the black bourgeoisie that want to be accepted by white America.
We don't think about the mental slavery behind it all too. So
it's like an abusive relationship.
Yeah, like we've been, like, say that family been raised in slavery their whole life, and they're scared of the unknown. And who knows? The slave master told them, like, yeah, who's gonna take care of you? Where you gonna live? How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? Right. And here we take care of you. You got a place to sleep. You got a place to work, and it's really shitty conditions that what you're used to.
But it's security. That's what it is. It's security.
And the same way, we had that mindset to this day. We don't want to go out and go on our own. We want to stay here. We just want better conditions while we're here.
Because when you're on a plantation, a lot of slaves, they grew up on a plantation. They know where everything is. They know everybody on the plantation.
It's familiar.
If they run, you got that scary forest you got to go into. And you don't know what's in that forest.
And you don't know what's beyond the forest.
Right. But we gotta go in that forest. If you really want change, you gotta have the heart to go in that forest.
And we're not there yet.
We're definitely not there.
I know we're not there yet, because like say if you more concerned about the flag, the state flag, than all that, like Mississippi has like we can go to this link here.
Was it Mississippi where they had the last hanging back in the 80s? Or I mean the last hanging, they started that back up again, but
well, this like this one website here, like, as the second worst place to raise a black child in America, Mississippi has a lot of other issues to go with that dishonor. It had the disfortunate distinction of having the highest infant mortality rate in the country.
Good night.
Nearly 10 deaths for every 1,000 births, beating out the also high neighbors, Louisiana and Alabama.
Boy.
So I mean, like, it goes on. I have other websites here.
Let's go through it.
This case here, this happened recently, back in this past May. Wow. This was a officer shooting. The white officer killed this black guy in Columbus, Georgia, named Ricky Ball, and I want to say this back in 2015. And this past May, just a month ago, they dropped all charges to the officer.
What?
Yeah. So he basically, after all this time, he about to go completely free, allegedly due to lack of evidence. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So here's another article: Mississippi racism alive and thriving. So nothing changed. Everything's still the same. Still so much going on.
Right.
We can talk about the school system, which Mississippi is close to last, and that.
Man, and America already isn't doing that good on a worldwide playing field.
Yeah,
when it comes to schools
already. So Mississippi on the low end of that. So it's so many. So y'all forgot about all these other issues that was going on because we're so focused on the flag.
Man, and that's the problem, man. It's a red herring, man. It's a red herring. You have these symbolic issues that take you away from the actual stuff that's really going on. It's a distraction. And it's another reason for us to bicker amongst each other.
Right.
It's another reason for black people to be divided instead of actually coming together and dealing with these actual issues.
And somebody was just coming to me like, you're going to change a lot, and this is the first step with the torch to change. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, we'll leave the conversation where it is, and then when that flag do change, holler at me the very next day, and you tell me what changed the very next day.
Let's see how changing the flag is gonna like people really think that changing the flag is gonna make white people just wake and be like, damn it, let's just stop being racist.
Yeah, right, overnight.
Right.
And it was another young lady. She told me that the flag going to change a lot of things because she said a lot of companies won't move their business to Mississippi because of racism. False. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like. Yeah, it's capitalism. They can care less about the racism. Like right now, we have a real big Mississippi has a real big Nissan plant, and so Mississippi bid it. They had this plant built there and everything. They got the bid.
Yeah.
And to this day, I mean, they overwork black people, underpay them.
Of course.
And then I remember just like recently, a few years ago, they talked them out of not having a union.
Wow.
So now down there had no protection. And so, when they had job losses and then the overtime rules and all that other stuff started kicking in, the policies, they had them on speak for them. But I'm telling you, it was so bad that Nissan would put out commercials telling people why they shouldn't be in a union. Right. And I was just like, yo, you have a company telling you not to unionize. That lets you know that they don't have your best interest.
Exactly.
But we fell for okie doke again. They voted against the union. They got screwed over. So if their business is not coming to Mississippi, that's because they just Mississippi didn't do a good job bargaining to get the job there. It had nothing to do.
Right.
I never seen a big corporation say, you know what, I was about to build a plant in Mississippi, but I'm not mess with that flag right there.
You know what it is? It's kind of like the same because you remember back when North Carolina had the whole thing with the trans thing and everybody was going off on North Carolina. Well, the LGBT community has a lot more pull than the black community. They're not gonna They're not gonna not go to Mississippi because of racism, because racism is all over.
Racism is not a deal breaker for people, and
they don't care. They're racist themselves, right?
Right. That's only for us, and then we the minority. In Mississippi, we still the minority.
Yeah.
Not only did you're the minority, the majority got a lot more wealth. Like they still living off the slave money on top of that.
Right.
So so you keep telling them, don't mess with Trump or don't mess with so and so because they're racist. You got to give them a better reason than that, because they're not a deal breaker for them. They're like, they just be like, I kind of feel the same way about black people. And you want people, you're hoping that you empathize or sympathize, or hoping they sympathize with us, and it's not going to happen. And as long as we keep trying, we don't get it.
And that's the thing, we're not realistic about our position in America.
No, not at all. And so we have to get it, but it goes back to me saying that that's why I know we're not pissed off enough yet. No matter how many times we've been murdered, raped, hung, we're not pissed off enough yet, because if we were pissed off enough, we wouldn't be trying to reason with these people. We wouldn't be trying to march through with these people.
We would take actual action. And another interesting thing with the whole thing with the corporations, why would them going to Mississippi affect their business anywhere else? If anything, if they really want to make money, they will go to Mississippi to make money off the people in Mississippi.
No.
Because it's not like people in Mississippi are going to be like, hey, you guys, we saw Walmart here. And then everybody else in all the other states are like, you know what, we're going to boycott Walmart. That's not how, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
That's not how that's going to work.
White people don't think how we think.
They don't. They live in a whole different world.
And you got to learn the difference. Right. But racism is not a deal breaker for them.
Right.
That's why you have the president that we have now. You know, it may be something they don't like about him, but racism wasn't a deal breaker for them.
Yeah, I mean, racism wasn't one of them.
Yeah, we got to stop playing that card because it's not going to work. And then, you know, and we always want to half-ass we always want to half-ass the process. Like, you know, you can't expect to get what you want from politicians when you had no economic power.
Exactly.
You know, everybody knows you got to pay for the politician that you want.
Right. Lobbying, all that.
Yeah, and for that person to do your bidding.
And it's funny because they people say, well, you know, not enough of us vote, and that's why they don't listen to it. Well, why is it? If you want to have economic power, why don't you go buy black?
Yeah. Exactly. So like, if the money ain't there, then you're not gonna have a politician.
Right.
And that's exactly what the gay community have done. You know, they got their money up.
Yeah.
They got the politicians that they wanted, and you know, in their pocket. And the politicians that want to get paid, they do their bidding. Yeah. And even if they're politician, he may be conservative at heart, for all we know. But you know, if he getting that liberal money or he getting that gay money, he gonna run it.
Exactly.
You know, and
we have no morals in politics, man.
Yeah, this cat like we know this. We know this country is wicked, but yet we still want to rely on it, and it just baffles me. So, like, even like with the whole killing of the murder of George Floyd,
yeah,
you know the system is wicked. We saw how the cops were getting off, but yet at the same time, when they get arrested, you hoping that the justice system is going to do its job.
Man, and it's funny because
it's not like one had the country, how the country is righteous, the other was not. The whole country is not.
The
righteous.
Whole entire country, they work together.
Yeah,
and just like all the time. And just like even when Joe Biden was talking about, you know, if you don't vote for me, you're just not black. You know, it's one of those things where they that's how they see you as a pawn.
Yeah, it is pawns in the game.
Yeah,
you know, and we have yet to see it. And like I say, man, now, yeah, okay, it's cool to get rid of the Mississippi State flag. I mean, it's cool to get rid of that. And yeah, you better get this new design. Okay, then, but now what? You know, why? And why are you satisfied with that? You know, so like I say, I'm not defending the flag. I don't care for it. I'm trying to figure out, why do you hate it?
The thing is, why do you feel like you could breathe easier with them just changing the flag? Literally just changing the piece of cloth. Man, just like they changed the flag of Georgia back in the 90s before I was even born. But I grew up, still saw the racism, still saw the Confederate flag.
Atlanta's racist as hell.
Still saw all that. Yeah. It didn't change anything.
And really, Atlanta, you know, that's a perfect example. Because Atlanta the motto is, you know, we're too busy to hate.
Right.
And basically what it is, like, you don't talk about it, then you just assume it's not there.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they do in Mississippi. If you get rid of all the evidence of it, you're just going to assume it's not there, and it's still there.
And that's the thing; they're going to erase the evidence of what they've done,
and retell the narrative,
and then make you feel comfortable in it.
Yeah,
and when you're comfortable in it, you're going to submit.
They ain't saying let's free the slaves. Like, yo, let's make the slaves happy a little bit, so don't, you know, calm down a little bit. Hey, that's all this was.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
let's be nice to them.
Like, it's like, you know, it ain't gonna fit our money. It ain't gonna fit how we run things. It ain't gonna fit our wealth. So what's a flag change? Yeah. That's all they want. And I mean, we literally happy as hell, dancing, jumping for joy over a flag change.
Over a flag.
No money out of it, no legislations, or any better schooling.
And that's the problem, man. We're so easily satisfied when it comes to white people doing stuff for us. Like you change the flag, and they're like, "Yay! We got the flag change." Like people skipping through the city. Yeah, Master changed our flag. But then you talk to some black folk about, hey, let's try to buy black this and the third. They'll hit you with, well, what are you doing? Are you voting? Are you protesting? Are you just in the third? Like No Name with J. Cole. You know what I mean? You'll call out these various people to do this very specific stuff that's according to what you believe is right.
Yeah.
But Mississippi changes the state flag and you are happy. You know what I mean? Obama calls a town hall meeting or visit some niggas in prison. You're happy.
Yeah.
You're satisfied.
Yeah. Or I had a meeting with rappers.
Right.
You know, we were getting on Kanye so hard for meeting up with Trump.
Right.
But at least he got some people out of jail when he did it. Right. Yeah, everybody meeting with Obama. You know, it was a big group photo. Like, I think it was Rick Ross. I think it was J. Cole was there.
Yeah.
You know, it was a Janelle Monáe. She was there. It was like a lot of people there, and I didn't see anything come from that meeting.
Man, the biggest thing we got was a photo op.
That was it.
You got a cool photo op so that niggas can have it as a wallpaper.
Yeah, and I don't want y'all to be thinking that we are pro-Republican or anything. That we know that both sides are full of it.
Yeah, we're not Republican. We're not Democratic. We're pro-black.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, seriously. We don't care if you're black on the left, black on the right. As long as you're black.
Yeah. We don't get caught up in all this politics.
Yeah,
we know it won't be again because both sides try to play us.
Exactly. And the main thing is just for us to have a dialogue.
That's it.
Have a dialogue and actually get some stuff moving. And first we got to start with our mindset because we're too easily pleased by the establishment and yet so hard on our brothers and sisters, man.
Yeah,
we're so hard on each other, but when it comes to the establishment,
and we forget the oppressor like in an instant,
man.
And that's crazy to me.
Be gunned down in the street and give the cop a hug.
Yeah,
but nigga owe you $5. You want to murder
for life,
right?
Yeah, but we want to touch on the topic. Please let us know how you feel in the comments. Like, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. We try to go live every Tuesday and Thursdays. This show here should be broadcasting Thursday night. We didn't do this one live due to schedule conflicts, but we still got a video out though. So you still got something out. But definitely let us know how you feel and let us know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Shalom.